am on page 40 with our adding and subtracting polynomials notes. So we're going to get right into it. I think there's, I could give you steps, but I think you'll actually find that this is not really new. It's just kind of like combining like terms. So let's just go ahead and take a look. We're going to look at adding first. Okay, so here is my example problem. Please make sure you copy it carefully because you're going to be confused if you copy it wrong, Okay, so you may notice it's long, and so a lot of students get kind of like stuck on, oh man, it's so long, but it's not hard. This is not by far the hardest skill that we have done. Okay, but it is long, so it's just a matter of being careful, making sure that you copy it down carefully, right? Especially if you're working on Elastic, copy it down carefully, put it back in it carefully. Okay, so I'm gonna like really do it out kind of the long way. So you're gonna see I'm gonna take like an extra step, and I want you to copy it down the long way so you have it as a reference. But when you do it, it's actually just kind of like one step. Okay. The first thing I'm gonna do is that these parentheses don't really mean anything. Normally, when we use parentheses, we use it to group things together. So, but the thing is that here, everything is just being added or subtracted. There's no, right, like this is not really multiplication because I can't really multiply these things, so I don't know what P is, okay? So this is all just adding and subtracting, and so these parentheses mean nothing. So I'm gonna start by just rewriting it without the parentheses. Okay, now, this is a step that you can probably skip, or when you copy it off Edge Elastic, you can even just write it down without the parentheses. Okay, but I'm writing it so that you can see that in this case I removed the parentheses, I didn't change anything else. Now I'm going to combine like terms. Okay, so I notice that there's a p squared right here, and this is also a p squared. So those are like terms. So 5 plus 3 is 8p squared. What's like terms with this? P. There's a p right here. There's another p right here. So that's 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. You can write plus 1p, or you can just write plus p, right? This, you could like optional, go to 1 right there. Okay, and then finally, this -7 and this 10 don't have any p attached, and those are also like terms. That's -7 plus 10, that's the same as 10 minus 7, which is 3. Okay, and this is my answer. Bless you. Okay, and then one more example. Okay, so again, and this one is just a couple little minor different things come up here, so make sure you copy this one down carefully. Okay, you may have observed up here I had 2 quadratic trinomials. I had 2 quadratic trinomials, 3 terms, highest degree was 2. Here I actually have a cubic trinomial and a quadratic trinomial, so just be careful because look, see this is not going to be like terms with this one. Okay, so just be mindful and be attentive to detail. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite without the parentheses. Okay, again, this is not a step that I'm requiring you to write every time, but one that I want you to see that I'm choosing to rewrite without the parentheses. Okay, so what's like terms with this? I'm looking for x to the 3rd. Nothing. Okay. Watch what I'm going to do next. Okay, because I'm not going to go here next. I'm going to go here. The reason is I want my answer. I want the exponents in order from largest to smallest. Okay, this is called writing it in standard form. Okay, so I don't want to write 7x next because there's a larger exponent, that's 2x. So I'm found this next largest exponent, and I'm looking for like terms. I don't see any. I'm bringing it down. Okay, let's see. The next largest exponent is this, right? This is an exponent of 1. So I'm looking for like terms for 2x. Okay, this is -7 plus 2, or 2 minus 7, whichever way is easier for you, but either way, it's -5x. And then finally, I have two constants, and I've run out of space to do enough underlines. I'm gonna just lightly circle these two, right? These are like terms. 5 minus 1 is 4. And then notice, watch, I'm gonna go through this last step. I'm gonna make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, and notice that I marked each term as I worked with it, and so that way when I went through and checked, I could see each term was marked and I knew I didn't miss anything. Okay, so that's adding. Now, subtracting. Subtracting is just one extra step. Okay, it's just one extra step. It's just like adding, but it's one extra step. Okay, so go ahead and carefully copy, please. Okay, here, notice there's a subtraction sign instead of an addition sign. So here is where the extra step happens, right at the beginning. This subtraction sign means everything inside these parentheses is being subtracted inside these parentheses. Not these. This is what's being subtracted. So I'm going to rewrite without parentheses just like adding. On the front, I'm just doing the same thing. Now, freeze, because this means everything inside here is being subtracted, so I'm subtracting x squared, I'm subtracting negative 3x, I'm subtracting negative 4, okay? So this looks kind of like just distributing a negative. It ends up being kind of the same output, right? Because this is negative times positive is negative x squared. Negative times negative is positive 3x. Negative times negative is positive 4, okay? So notice what happened is that when I'm subtracting x squared. If I'm subtracting a negative, it's positive. Subtracting a negative, it's positive. Okay? So now, the only, this right here, this is the difference between addition and subtracting. Okay? When I rewrote without the parentheses, I had to distribute the negative. Okay, and now it's the same. I'm just going to combine like terms. I'll do it quick because we already got this practice subtracting. This is 3 minus 1, that's 2x squared. 4x plus 3x is 7x. And negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to box this answer here. All right, one more quick example just to catch a couple more things you might run into. 2n to the 4th minus 7n squared plus 9 minus negative 3n squared plus 9. Okay, so again, when I rewrite the first part, I can just rewrite it without parentheses, no problem, it's not being subtracted. This subtraction sign applies to everything inside the second set of parentheses, so minus a negative becomes positive, right? And then minus positive, this is minus 9, okay? And remember, you can say, okay, this is minus a negative, or you can say, oh, I'm multiplying negative 1 times negative. Whichever way you think about it, it's the same outcome. Okay, now, when I'm combining like terms here, there is no like term for this one, so that's just 2n to the 4th. This is negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. And then this is 9 minus 9, which is 0, so I don't write anything. And that's it, okay? So you're going to get a chance to try this on assignment 5.